Totally not late. Totally on time. Oh, do I have the giant cat? I do. Whoops. Sorry. It's cold today. Don't mind me. I'm not set up at all. Uno momento. Hmm. All right. It's so cold out. Get this all set up. Hey, Four Gunner. Man, you are on time. You're more on time than I am tonight. Can you hear me? Is everything coming through okay? I gotta take a look. I think so. Yeah, looks good. Ish. Looks good. Awesome. How you doing tonight? Are you cold where you're at? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's not 0 degrees by you. Mmm. Oh yeah, pineapple. So good. Oh, we're in Florida. My buddy's in Naples, and he's whining about it getting down to like 40 or something like that. He sent me pictures all week long of it in the 70s, so I don't feel that bad. Hey, Jenny and Daily Sight. All right, we got a little crowd forming already. I love it. Used to live in New York City. Hey, me too, sort of. From Long Island originally. So I was in the city a lot. I have some stories from being in the city, but I didn't. Man, it's been a while since I've been in New York City. Thank you. Yeah, it's cold. I was so I just came in from being outside at my son's lacrosse game, which is he didn't play outside, but I was outside to get home, and that's why I pushed the time back a little bit. Hey, Superman. So it is for me. For me, dry January is over. I stopped drinking on December 28th. So Hempstead and Westbury, dude, that's my home turf. I lived in Hicksville, which if you took the LIR, you would know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't miss driving there. Every time I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I left. That's not actually true, but it's what's amazing is how little I care about driving fast like that anymore. That's pretty wild. Today was 70. Huh, man. I mean, today was zero for me. Tonight's going to be zero. Tomorrow's going to be zero. No, it's not going to be that bad. I guess we're going to hit 19 or 20 tomorrow. What's going on, Adno? Is it Adno or Adnoe? Brooklyn. I was born in Brooklyn. I feel like I've said that on stream before. -6. Okay, okay. Are we going real feel, Jenny, or are we just trying to be? I'm only. Oh, we're at 3. Feels like 3. Hello, dude. It's cold everywhere. I mean, I wonder if I can bring up without like uh, doxing myself. Let's see if I bring up the weather. Weather doc. I guess I have to do weather.com. Oh wait, no. Actually, I hate weather.com. What's the other one? Just weather, right? Stop trying to make me sign in weather.com. That's why nobody likes you. I wanted the other one, AccuWeather. That's what I wanted. And it is. Yeah, it would have doxed me right away. Y'all would know where I was from. And now I can't get it up. Okay. Can I put in just like the country? I don't. All right. Well, we're not going to look at weather together. Sorry. How do I change the location? Don't use current location. Look at, let's say, what's in the middle of the country? Oklahoma City. Or just Oklahoma. Oh, I picked Oklahoma Kentucky. Did you know there's an Oklahoma, Kentucky? Why would they do that? For real? That's really a thing? That's ridiculous. Look at this. Oklahoma, Kentucky is a real thing. Isn't that absurd? Who came up with this? Okay, well, this is what I wanted. That should be illegal. Hey, Muffin and Phlox. Everybody likes the hat. It's cold, okay? Okay, where's the precipitation? Nowhere near. This is... Oh, I want temperature, I guess, don't I? Is there a temperature map? There must be. Radar... Temperature. There we go. That's what we wanted. Cool. Look at this. We're, like, learning together. Stop it. Okay. Wow. It is cold everywhere. Where is it nice anywhere? Mexico. Yeah, it's okay in Mexico. And, of course, like, San Diego. 73. Jeez. This is why everyone moves to or wants to live in San Diego. And in general, Southern California. And, of course, like, you know, Key West. Wow. Holy cow. Oh, man, is Showcase on? He's probably frozen in his house right now, considering... Although... Is anyone in, like, Edmonton on the server? I don't think so, right? Hey, all time. Muffin, what are you going to eat? Are you going to eat a muffin? Oh, I got to catch up. You're all talking again. I was looking at maps and stuff. There's 3 Saratogas? Why would they do that? That, again, that should be illegal as well. Pizzeria Del Dio. Where's that at? Is that Florida? That's the problem with visiting New York when you're from there. Steak and taters. All right, that's fair. I get it. I can appreciate that. Yeah, so anytime I go back to New York, it's pizza, bagels, sometimes sushi, and then more pizza and more bagels, and sometimes rolls. Because you can't actually, like, we talk about pizzas and bagels a lot, but they're rolls. Deli rolls don't exist outside of New York. I don't know why. And they're amazing. Like, just a buttered roll is amazing. Now, an egg sandwich on a roll is really where it's at in the morning. Highly recommended if you haven't tried it. We were stuck in Mexico Sunday and Monday. I guess what part of Mexico? Because apparently there are some cold parts right now. Jeez, that's pretty wild. I'm not sure I've looked at this and seen it like this in a long time. You can just see the... What are they... Is this a polar vortex? Is that what they're calling this? I mean, it could be worse. You could live up in this, like, Inuit area, which seems absolutely awful. There's nothing good happening here. I'm sorry, Canada. Oh, the rolls are amazing. Oh, bacon, egg, and cheese, dude. Okay, who here puts ketchup on their egg sandwiches? I don't, for the record, but, like, it's a big thing in New York. From a halal cart? I don't even know how to say that word. I've read it a million times in my life. Halal, right? Ketchup on sushi? That's disgusting, dude. Cancun. I mean, it looks warm. This is where I went to a wedding here once. This was awesome. Merida. Yeah. Sad drive, by the way. From here to here, you see some shit, man. It's not good. Like, there's some towns that we drove through on that road that was like, oh, we are a privileged society. Anyone who's on here and watching this program today, I'll just tell you that. Yeah, that's a literal sin, Jenny. Ketchup on sushi. There's no way that's okay. In fact, you might actually get arrested for doing that. You know, the one place that would probably be acceptable, ironically, is like Japan. Oh, that's not good. Am I back? What happened? Do I need to change my internet connection? Oh, that's not good. Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't even. I'm middle of the way into a story, and I see that I disconnected. I hope that doesn't. If that happens, I'm gonna have to change my settings here. So we'll see. If it happens again, I will take like 2 minutes to just reset the router. It doesn't. It doesn't blend in with the yellow map, does it? I would think the hat looks better on like the green part, though, right? Or if I put it on blue, it makes you think green. No, that's not how it works. Oh, look at the contrast on that. That's pretty good. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, that's contrast. That yellow background. It was a power move, like the ketchup on sushi. Yeah. Anyway, hey, who had fun this week in the market? Raise your hands. I don't see any hands. What happened? Did nobody have fun in the market? Do we even have to talk about the market today? Do you guys want to talk about the market today, or are we just pretend like that's not what we do here? I'm not sure if that's better or worse. No, just tears. Like Monday was okay, and then it was just like I haven't even looked honestly. Nem actually is on my list of things though that if it goes on deep discount, I will be buying some. For me, deep discount is like sub 100, so we got a ways to go. But I do have a few things that I'm keeping an eye out for. But I mean, we could look at silver. This was a thing today. Was anyone expecting something different? That's all I really want to know. So a minus, it was at one point it was minus what 35% or something. Maybe not that much. Maybe it was 30% was the max. The silver was. I think everybody was like, "Hey, when do you buy puts?" And a couple people bought them here. There was a thread on Reddit today that I was reading of somebody who shorted gold on Wednesday, and it spiked up, and they lost. He got liquidated and owes his brokerage money. I was like, oh, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You did a stop loss. What was your stop loss? And did it blow through? No, I agree. It was as expected as it may have been. I think I was assuming we would back test the 8 EMA immediately, not the 34. Like that was a serious back test. And what is the weekly? That's probably just the 8 EMA for that matter. Yeah, we didn't even test the 8 EMA on the weekly. That's what's crazy. We saw a 30% drop and didn't touch the 8 EMA. That's how you know, like, hey, things are a little out of control here. And forget the monthly. That's just we're still green. We're still good. The monthly's like, what are you talking about? This was fine. Of course, if you got in here, which people were playing calls here, guaranteed. 195. Nice. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You got out safely, I'd say. Above the cup target line that I had, this was at Showcase's request. We were looking at the cup and handle. Really, the weekly or the monthly is even better to look at on that. What a ridiculous chart, by the way. Look at that. This is like when they put different tall buildings next to each other, and then all of a sudden it's that one in Dubai, and it's like next to the Chrysler building. You're just like, what? How, this is not even a contest. This is absurd. This could only have ended in one way. Now, obviously, it's not the end, and the question will be: will the panic spill over to the rest of, the week, the month, next week, the rest of the month's over, next month, and will it continue to crater? Somebody asked on the server today, hey DT, welcome in. Somebody asked on the server today, so is silver going to go down more and gold? And it's like, I mean, come on. That's not a fair question. Nobody knows the answer to that. But I got to think that, on the weekly, we didn't even touch the 8 EMA. on either. I don't think, right? On both of them, platinum too, for that matter. Okay, we did on silver, but we finished above it, and platinum, we went below it. I would think there's more pain here potentially, but regardless, I'm not touching any of this stuff. I may do a proxy like NEM at some point, but I'm certainly not in a rush. And the amount of double digit pain is wild. However, there was some silver lining. We had the king here. We had GME have a good week. My CCs got touched but not called away because it's GME and it just can't move that far for more than a day. Historically, in the last couple of years, I don't think we've had a big day that wasn't like immediately followed by a drop. Okay, maybe here right after some earnings, but even then it was pretty much drop city. Same deal. This is a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, look at that. This is a weird thing where I got somehow didn't get called away on some covered calls back then. But GME is fun because people are talking about it again. People are getting excited. Look at this. This whale flow is picking up. You see that? See that little chart down there? Starting to look good. I think I can make this full screen, right? Look at that. I mean, that's a little stretched out, but that's definitely increasing whale flow. And why might that be? I think we're getting momentum back. NFA, do your own DD, but yeah, for sure, seems like we're getting some momentum back here, and I'm all about it because I have shares below cost basis already, or above cost basis already. They're at 23 or 23.50, something like that. Not including every time I sell covered calls on them. So that's exciting. And the big question is, they're looking to buy somebody, but who is it going to be? Wow, Ryan Cohen owns 9% of GameStop shares? I didn't know that. That's news. But this is the big news. GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen is seeking a major acquisition to reshape the company into a $100 billion behemoth, targeting consumer or retail sectors with $9 billion in cash. So the question is, GameStop's market cap is only $10 billion, and they have $9 billion in cash, which by itself tells you that they're basically, if they're a positive revenue generating business, they're undervalued. Or you're just saying outside of their assets, they're only worth $1 billion, which seems nonsensical to me. So already being undervalued, which is something that I've personally claimed here for, as I've been continually buying and rebuying here in the $20, $21, $22 range, and 23. I feel pretty confident for the long term, and I'm fine waiting. Same with Bull. I know a lot of people feel that way about Bull, which, by the way, I think is like maybe time for me to buy more shares on Bull. But we'll talk about Bull later. Yeah, this is like very exciting times, and the question is, who could it be? Anyone have any ideas? What could GME be looking to buy? And it's consumer, they said. And what was it? What did they say specifically? They said consumer or where was it? Where was it? Consumer or retail sectors. So, thoughts. We got retail trade, and we got consumer services. Are they going to buy CNBC? I don't think so. Can I click on this? Oh, there we go. Who suggested Paramount? That was Pink Hat Hacker. Can they buy Reddit? They're not going to buy Reddit. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. I don't see. There's too little overlap with those two businesses, in my opinion. But under consumer services, which I don't believe Reddit falls under anyway, who do you have? Like, are they going to make movies? No, Netflix already does that. I don't think that's going to be a thing. Amazon already does that. And clearly, the movie business is not what it used to be. Unless they're going to try to make a whole bunch of video game based movies, which would be pretty wild. Kind of like Marvel, right? Something like that. I don't think that's going to be it. That's kind of a stretch. It's probably not Chipotle, although that would be interesting. Airbnb could be interesting because maybe you want to rent video games while you go to an Airbnb. That would be wild. Now we're really out of the box already. I don't think they're going to combine it with gambling. We've already got loot boxes and everything. Domino's. Oh, what is Domino's market cap? They might be able to buy Domino's. That would be interesting. But what was the other sector? Let's go back. Retail trade. Now, they said they wanted to transition into being $100 billion behemoth. And if they're worth 10 billion, we're kind of looking at what? These size businesses, it's probably not CVS or Lowe's or AutoZone or Carvana. But what if they bought Target? I mean, I know that sounds insane, but what if? Oh man, could they do it? So, okay, what I don't know is can you use 9 billion in cash and assets to purchase like a mortgage, like 20% down on a $40 billion company? Seems unlikely, but I guess with some potential partnered finance deal, maybe, maybe. And, I wonder. The other one that I had brought up was Best Buy. They're only 13 billion as well. And that's kind of interesting, I think. That I could see that actually working together in a way. Um, let's look at financials on Best Buy. Realistically, could they buy Best Buy? I think they could. I think they could actually buy them with not all cash. It would have to be some sort of special deal, backroom shenanigans type stuff. But what if? Because we have things with Best Buy that's interesting. You have computers. You have they sell games, right? Um, they do entertainment and whatnot. They do consumer electronics and whatnot. They also have Geek Squad, which to me has overlap with the GameStop and uh, maybe not ideology, but in terms of what if you did offered repair services for old consoles, right? I mean, that could be an interesting partnership. Roblox was another one I mentioned too. I don't. I was kind. I also said Kroger. That was a joke, by the way. I hope nobody took that seriously. But if we were to look at Roblox, the problem with Roblox to me, they have fallen from grace. Holy, I remember this run up. I haven't looked at them in a while. I had no idea they dropped this far. What is their? Wow, 200 weekly SMA incoming here. Look at that cup and handle, dude. Okay, well maybe it's time to buy Roblox. I don't know. Hold on, we'll talk Roblox and GameStop in a second here. This is legit, and that is a wild drop, but also like could most definitely be a thing. Still, huh? I don't know. They're pretty far down with that handle is the only problem. But like, I turned volume off at some point. Let's take a look. I don't know. Maybe not. It's amazing how much they went up on basically no increase in volume. That's pretty wild. So, interesting. Hey, YTP, 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 YTP. Everybody likes the hat or hates it. One of the two. So, anyway, I don't think Roblox makes sense because Roblox is. They're not primarily computer, right? But their phone, you can get them on the Switch. You can get them on any console. Is the word ubiquitous? I don't know. I don't think, in my mind, it doesn't make sense because you could do a partnership with Roblox, like promotional, but what is the benefit of owning such a specialized business like that? I don't see it. Okay, who said eBay? eBay is fascinating. You know why? And I didn't think about this until somebody brought it up. The reason why eBay is fascinating is number one, it's expensive, but it may fit the market cap if they're buying financing up to 50 billion or something. But they are working on this whole game trade-in system that could be wild if they combined forces with a site that facilitated resale of games, which is traditionally not something that a store like GameStop is interested in participating in beyond taking trade-ins, right? Um, they're not generally interested in rewarding participants. They try to make money off of that, understandably. But this would be fascinating because it would open up the doors to cards that they've been talking about, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards, all type of collectible cards, all type of collectibles in general. This could be like a legit possibility. I thought Google owned eBay. What happened? Who owns eBay? Does Google not own eBay? Or maybe I'm just thinking about YouTube again. I guess they don't. But this would be really interesting. Especially if they could combine eBay with the grading stuff they were doing. I like it. I like it. Nintendo. Oi. And I don't. First off, Nintendo is a Japanese company. So the answer is emphatically no. I don't even know how to look them up, actually. Thailand. No. How do you look? What is Nintendo? Is it no? Is it NTO? Maybe it is. But they're not buying a Japanese company. I would. There's no way. I don't see it. I've been a part of multiple companies that got bought by Japanese companies and or worked with them in different ways. And I loved it personally because I learned Japanese for a while there and rubbed elbows with the higher ups. The CEO loved me because he would take me out for sushi, just me. No other white guy got to go. He'd be like, Johnson, my name is John. Johnson, you want sushi? Yeah, that's the worst Japanese accent ever. I know. And the answer was always, yeah, I love sushi. And they're like, oh, we know where to go. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I would try to order sushi in Japanese incorrectly usually. And it was great. Sushi o nomatai or tabitai. Yeah, that was great. Anyway, from a business perspective, though, they're terrible in terms of cultural differences. And like, talk about taking a company to a grinding halt. It wouldn't be good for GameStop. That not with like Ryan Cohen's too young, dynamic, interested in moving quickly, making quick decisions. That's not how the Japanese traditionally work in the 3 Japanese companies I've been a part of. So I'll throw that out there. But I do like the eBay idea. Or is it possible? What is PayPal worth now? 50 billion? Would they buy like a PayPal? That seems far-fetched. And unless they're, I don't know why they would want to turn into a bank. I don't like the idea behind that. So I'm gonna guess no, but it just stuck out at me real quickly. What if they bought Costco? Costco's probably too expensive. What are they? I don't even know what Costco's market cap is. Yeah, that's not happening. 400 billion. All right, sorry, GameStop. You can't buy Costco. Good try though. I mean, Costco could buy you and not even realize that they spent the money. I guess that's a possibility. I think those are the only real legitimate options that I can think of. I mean, coin. I saw DT mention coin. I sorry, dude. I don't think so. It's they're undervalued for sure right now with Bitcoin going doing what it's doing, and there's no way they would be able to afford like a fully valued coin. I don't think. Um, which, by the way, look at Coin's weekly chart. It's actually not nearly as bad as it feels. Look at this, like higher high, higher low, higher high. Maybe that's not a higher low. Okay, maybe that's a double bottom. Higher high, higher low. If we go up from here, so geez, yeah. Hopefully we don't hit this again. But I don't know. I look at coin and I'm not personally super concerned about it. It's obviously tied strongly to Bitcoin right now. The better question is what's Bitcoin gonna do? And we've just been chopping sideways here. We did break below on the weekly the 100 SMA, so that kind of sucks because nobody wants to see it drop down to 57, that's for sure. But assuming it recovers next week, yeah, we've just been chopping sideways for a couple months now. I would imagine we'll chop back up. The question is how and when do we break out? And that we can't answer, or I can't answer anyway. But at least it's not silver, because that sucked. So, yeah. Anyway, that was kind of the interesting thing to me was the GameStop talk of where's it going to go next. And I do like the fact that the chart actually looks to me pretty good. This is on the weekly, and we can see the inkling of whale flow on the weekly because it all started this week. If we look at the daily, you got basically Monday through Friday, a little bit last week. That's not enough to show up on their weekly, though, of course, with how low it was. But we are starting to trend up, and we're getting look at the volume. We're getting some news. That's weekly volume too. We're getting news. There's interest. The volume's picking up. Is it time? Is it going to be like some giant ass cup and handle? Probably not. That would be one ugly cup. But we have been in this wedge for a while. And I think it soon will be time. That's all I can really say here. With how much news that they're seeing, positive news. Maybe this is the wedge, however you want to draw it. And there's only so much time before we pop. We got earnings coming up soon. If you saw the new pay comp structure, he's highly motivated to become like Elon Musk 2.0 via GameStop. That's kind of wild. And if he does, he's got like $100 billion on the line. Something absurd. So I like it. I think there's a lot of bullish sentiment and things happening here. You're probably not going to find a better price than where we are. 2020, I think, was the best sale that we've seen since we peaked back up after Tariff Mania. And I just don't. The support has been very strong here. This bottom line has not been redrawn. I kind of debate on exactly where I like to put this, the height of this for sure. And now, like you look at, again, we're on the weekly, and look at the MACD, the convergence. By the way, on the weekly, the 100 SMA just crossed over the 200 to the positive last week. So this week, essentially. Last week was the crossover point, but it was this week where we actually saw the result of that. So that is mega bullish. And that can't change quickly for 50 weeks. It would take a long time. 50 weeks, a whole year, is unlikely. Look, it takes a long time to move these lines. And I don't foresee us flipping back over here anytime soon. Now, what I'd like to see is us to get above the final one here, the 50 SMA, on the weekly specifically. And I think we're Gucci, as the kids say. On the daily, we're actually only under the 200 SMA, which we broke above, closed above for the one day. Couldn't hold it. I didn't think we were going to hold it, by the way. That was why I sold the CCs where I did. I was pretty confident we didn't have enough information for a true catalyst breakout. We just have general excitement right now. So in those situations, the chart is going to hold you down. The bureaucratic drag of the EMAs is going to hold you down, unless you're a high growth stock like ASTS or Luna or something. GME is not anymore. They're an established business who have gotten out of their meme-like tendencies, and now we're kind of just watching them develop into a real business with vision and strategy that we haven't seen in a long time. And I think that's cool. I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, that's kind of what I see. Let me see something here. Just make sure I haven't dropped frames or anything. DT, do you own any GME? Does anyone else besides me? I know Masley does, but he's asleep right now. Wait, no. Well, yeah, he would be asleep right now. He's somewhere in Europe. I think my position's small. It's I'm trying to do the math real quick. It's like 4%. You don't know about it after this next week? No GME for Superman. No, what? I can't believe you. Are you looking to get out, DT? Or are you going to hold on? I think this is where you got to see the resolution of this wedge. Foregunner? What? Nobody is GME. Did you guys not participate in the original meme squeeze? I kept my original shares from that. That's not true. I sold shares, made a bunch. It dropped, and then I bought back in, and then lowered cost basis for like 2 years straight. And I still have the original shares. They've been pretty good, honestly. My cost basis shows high on Fidelity, which is annoying, but I've probably made $20 a share in premiums. CC's at $24.50. Yeah, but you're good. What did we close at? $23.80. Or are you further out than this week? You CC'd your original share? Oh, no. I'm sorry. They have been, these last couple of years, they've been fantastic to CC, by the way. Like it was very unlikely for them to get called away at all. You had to go. I mean, it had to have happened during the meme wars of 2020. What year was that? 21. Yeah, I mean, it had to happen back then if you were going to get stopped out. But honestly, like it probably was to your benefit if you, in this very short time frame, there were some sad times and some sad faces, most definitely. But now it's been I've really enjoyed it, and I know it's like a descending wedge, so it looks sad. But if you sell a couple months out on the peak, and you just buy it back a week or two later, 50%, and you do it again, and then buy it back, and then do it again, and then buy it back, it has worked out really well. Same shares since October 9th of 2025 or 2021. Well, whatever the case, yeah, I think it's good. 2.6. You might be okay. I mean, earnings isn't until March, so like, while there's excitement. This was the Burry announcement right here when he announced he took a 6% position, 6% or 9%, something like that. I think it was 6%, which is his normal position size, as he put it, which nobody knows what that means. When I looked him up on Google, it said something like a net worth of 300 million, but we don't know if that's his portfolio. I don't know if he owns other businesses or anything. What was interesting to me, and I'm not like knocking the guy or anything because it is what it is, but I didn't realize he got his money from inheritance, allegedly. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, and maybe his inheritance was like a couple $1,000,000 and he turned it into 300 million, whatever. But yeah, I didn't realize that's how he came about his startup fund that he created, which, what was it? Not Cypher. I can't remember the name. I guess I could Google it, but I'm not going to bother. 2025. Oh, well, you're not holding them that long then. Well, I think 2.6, 24.50 is probably tight, but you might be okay. This is not like a clear bull flag or anything going on here. I mean, maybe it is a bull flag, but I guess it is, but it doesn't really mean anything on the daily time scale anyway. So it could be something. What I think is more interesting is just the EMA curling up like this. We'll be on the daily golden cross here somewhere out in mid-February potentially if we can stay up here. That's kind of cool. And the biggest thing is, can we get and stay above that 200 SMA for more than a couple of days? That'd be nice. You own GME in the crazy run? Oh, nice. Yeah, I bought it at 22. I tried to buy it the day it went from 11. Well, let's go look. There was a day where it went from like, I tried to buy it in the teens and it jumped from, where was it? It must have been this day. Yeah, I tried to buy it at opening one of these days in the teens, and I did a market fill, and it filled at like 22. So it must have been this, either this red day or the green day. I couldn't remember which. It's been obviously a while. And then I sold somewhere in here for like 70, and then bought back at like 30, and that was kind of it. And then from there, I just CC'd forever, and now the cost basis of those shares are probably like $5 if I added it all up. Because this is like the premiums are really good here still, and they didn't really start to peter out until you got multiple quarters of hardly any movement. Like look how tight these SMAs got over here. This was pretty brutal times, but now we're back in action. It's been kind of nice as we've gotten a solid footing here, and I'm confident in them for the long haul. Here's the other one that I'm interested in. Does anyone have Microsoft? We don't talk about like Microsoft or Apple very much on our server, but I wonder. All right, we're gonna go for high noon number 2 today. 408. Wow, that's pretty good. Congrats, Adno. That is genius. Apparently, I wish I did that with UNH personally. I did not. I risked it for the biscuit, and honestly, I think the earnings would have been fine. That's not what hosed them. It was the announcement right before earnings that was killer. That was terrible. There was no getting over it. But Microsoft, I've informed my wife that her IRA, which I manage all of our finances, she doesn't care what I get in her account. It's like, I'm like, hey, you have Corby. She's like, what's that? It doesn't matter. It made you a bunch of money. She's like, okay, cool. CoreWeave with the amazing premiums, which I haven't been touching recently. I have CoreWeave, but I haven't bought any more because I'm wondering if we're going to have a big buying opportunity again. Anyway, I told her, I was like, well, you might be owning some Microsoft here coming up. If we fill this gap, which is interesting because if you zoom out, look at this. Have you done this? Has anyone done this? Look at the monthly. You don't even see the gap on the monthly. And am I on log? No, I'm on regular. Let me turn off volume because that's so annoying to look at. I mean, can you even be upset if you've been a original investor? Yeah, you dropped a lot, but percent-wise, gosh, it's just nothing. They've just gone up forever. And so a little on the monthly, a little retrace to the 34 EMA. Okay. Will we go to the 50? I doubt it. But will we close the gap? I mean, maybe. That's definitely possible, especially with all the concerns on CapEx spend right now. Well, anyway, my point is, if we close this gap, I might be loading up. Well, for one, I'm not sure if we close the gap, I'm not sure we'll have support at the bottom of the gap. We could. So I might wait to see. But that is a distinct thought in my mind right now. And we've got a big old monthly bite indicator, meaning Definitely things are cooling off. And look at this. The month of January is pretty much over. And in fact, it is for the market. So look at this. This is the least whale flow volume we've seen since 2022. That's a little concerning. If we have a dip like this, look at that. Look at that dip. Look at that dip. If we do a thing like that here too, we've got more to go. Oh, my kids are screaming. Sorry if you can hear that. I think, we're probably going to see a few months of this. And this is where zooming out is important for two reasons. One, while we might look at the gap and be like, if it fills the gap, I'm buying, you don't need to buy at the bottom of the gap. You might want to wait and see if it goes further. I mean, at the end of the day, this is just as plausible. Where's the thingy? Here it is. Like, it could go like that. And by the way, that would hit the 50 SMA on the monthly. That would close the gap and then some. And there's nothing saying that can't happen. Why are my kids screaming outside my door repeatedly? I hope nobody can hear that. So anyway, that's my thought process there. I'm keeping an eye on it. They've been added to the watch list. This is like, in my mind, this is not quite as good, but I'm very interested in it. Kind of like when we all bought Google here, it was here at 145. Like, that was a clearly obvious yes. Look at this on the monthly. Again, touching the 34 EMA, halfway to the 50. If we do something like this, I'm in. And then you could break it down, go look at the weekly and see what happened there. I mean, there was a engulfing tweezer of sorts. Maybe you wait till after the tweezer to get in, close above the 200, the 100 SMA. And that you start seeing the whale flow picking back up. That could be a good indicator, good entry point. That's what I'm thinking about for Microsoft right now. But it's going to be a while. It's going to be multiple months before that's a thing. And look at this. Look at the whale flow completely drop off the end of January. That's exciting to me. This is opportunity. All right, Jenny, I'm talking Microsoft. What do you want? What's your thoughts on Microsoft? A fantastic hair salon. What? What are you talking about, DT? Nothing like checking chat and going like, yeah, that's gibberish. That's gibberish. Man, what a run they had too. Like, that was quite the run for Microsoft there. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got some time. Oh, CoreWeave. Yeah, I should have told her that. She might have been like, huh. I mean, Ulta's a thing, right? Is that beauty care, maybe? Which, that's another thing I'm wondering. Elf. While I wait for Jenny's thoughts on Microsoft. Look at that. Elf is kind of interesting right now, too. I wouldn't touch it yet, but there's, now that we've tested off. So, okay. Things that I've learned. This could have been a good time to consider leaps. When the mags drop, it's almost always buying opportunity. Yeah, buddy. It's those sales only come by once every couple of years. So here's the idea going forward for me. On companies that have generally strong fundamentals, when you see a big old drop from earnings, by the way, where they beat on earnings and dropped on revenue, this was a good leap buying opportunity. However, the day it touches the bottom of the gap, get out. That is my new approach. And that may not be true all the time, but man, that's been true a lot lately. UNH did it. This was painful, where I wish I got out and didn't. I could have got out of UNH at profit on the gap touch right here. This was like plus 20K, and then this was minus 20K. Both very painful. to not. So like net loss was 40K. I mean, not, not really. Net loss was 20K, but this was brutal. And I was really hoping on earnings we were going to touch the gap, and that was my plan, was to get out before the news came out. But whatever, it is what it is. I actually, oddly, I don't feel that bad about it. I feel like I should feel worse about it than I do. But what are you going to do when the day before earnings someone comes out with shit news like that? No, we'll look at SoFi in a minute, though. This was another one. No, was not. D-Dog was not a gap one. TTD was a gap one, where missed opportunity. We touched the gap, and then we've just never recovered. It's been terrible. And I thought about getting out here. This is another one where I could have got out for profit and did not. So yeah, I think this has definitely been a learning for me of how I want to handle leaps going forward. While I've got a target here, like there's no way we're getting up here, I don't think. I mean, earnings and guidance would have to be so killer transformative. There's no way. At this point, they're not worth anything. So for the cost of like $500, I might as well hold on to them. But otherwise, yeah, they're not happening. So that was a little sad. And I think when I look at Microsoft, should I do something like leaps if we drop below here? I will employ that approach of maybe we test on the weekly the 200 SMA, buy the leaps, touch the gap, get out. That's just get out, and that's fine. Let's look at Celsius real quick, and then I'll look at SoFi. They have a gap. Oh, I gotta go to the daily. Where's their gap? Oh, they've filled the gap. What are you talking about? Their gap's gone. Well, if you talk all the way to the top, yeah, I guess there's a little bit left. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably bounce off there in total. This is going to be resistance, though, for sure. I mean, Meta just did the same thing, too, actually. Oh, they just created a new gap. But look at this. Look at this. Bottom of the gap. What happened? Bounced off it. Came close. Tried again. Went to... This was another point. This is where I actually sold METU here. Kind of like getting out, because who knows? This could have been flipped. This could have been all the way down here, and I have zero regrets about that. I made money on it, so I was fine with it. But look what I'm talking about. Like the bottom of the gap ends up being an incredibly strong resistance point that everything we're looking at is doing the same exact thing. Another one that, and then I'll get to SoFi. I haven't forgot that I'm looking at is Netflix, which is alternatively on this long-term support. Let's look at the weekly, though. So I look at this, and I'm like, hey, this could be a bounce, but I thought about entering here, right here, when we tested and bounced back. And I said, you know what? I don't believe you. Ron Burgundy, I don't believe you. We're going to give this one a little bit more time. And sure as shit, I mean, EMA is crossing over the 200. It's going to happen anyway, but... I think we're going to test this harder. Like, I think we're going to close here. And there's no rush. There's no rush. You don't need to catch it at the turn. Let's get confirmation of things that are turning around, momentum, which, by the way, like, look at this. This is where we're going to look at multiple indicators. And look how this is just peeled off down here and fallen away. Does this look like a time where you should be like, yeah, but there's a line that goes across? Surely it'll bounce. Surely it's just going to do a V shape. No, it's not going to do that. It's highly unlikely it's going to do that. In all likelihood, it's going to bounce a couple of times, and then unfortunately, it's going to break through this way. That's what I'm concerned about. And then I think Netflix might test that 200 SMA on the weekly. I'm just going to throw that out there. Jenny, why are you CCing METU? Okay, that's the real question here. All right, let's look at SoFi. I know DT wants to see SoFi. Netflix scares you until things settle down. That's true, too. That's a good point. Well, actually, okay, let's go back to Netflix real quick. If you consider that We have things, we have storylines, haha, parallels to resolve before we can decide where is the good entry point here. That's why there's no rush, because they are unresolved, as you've astutely pointed out, and we need to wait for that to happen. Why and why get twisted about trying to catch the exact bottom? Nobody gives a shit. It doesn't matter. You'll post it once an after hour and you'll be forgotten 30 seconds later. So rather than try to magically time the bottom, be lucky, let's instead focus on when it really makes sense, as things pick back up, as we see indicators that don't, do jagged V bottoms, but instead smoothly for good reason as things develop, and the executives and the teams there come up with a new strategy, perhaps, to mitigate the headwinds. I'm going to sneeze. Hold on a second. I don't know where that came from. Somebody's talking about me somewhere. You need to stop CC. Yeah, why do you CC 2X's? Jenny, patience. Patience, Jenny. Will they buy Netflix? Dude, Netflix is like $1 trillion, aren't they? No. They're only well, they were a lot more than they are now. 350 billion, what were they? Not quite double, but like 600 billion, I think, at one point. That'd be a tall order. I don't think they're buying Netflix. But maybe they are, and they're going to do the old Redbox Netflix game rentals. Remember those? Okay, SoFi. And then we'll look at Reddit. I promise. Okay, the thing about SoFi, you're going to hate me. I almost feel bad what I'm going to do here. I'm going to bring up Hood, because I have it drawn on Hood. Do you see my drawing? My crayons? Do you want to know what this is? Let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to bring something up here. Where is it? Where did I put it? There it is. I love this document. We're going to look at this all the time, by the way. Where is... Here it is. No. Here it is. No. Shoot. Where is it? No. Well, there's Head and Shoulders inverse, but I wanted the regular Head and Shoulders. There we go. Oh, I thought it had... Never mind. Anyway, here's my worry. This is a bearish chart indicator, or chart pattern. Okay? Now, all we're looking at is, do we have a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, and a breakout? The breakout goes below the neckline, and the target is equidistant from the top of the head down below the neckline, basically. There you go. So it has look at this. One of the lowest failure rates. It could fail. We just had a breakout. I'm on the weekly chart too, which is extra disturbing. But to me, this is pretty clear. Head, the shoulders don't have to be equal. The neckline is actually, to me, more important. And you connect the bottom and the bottom here. Now, the only thing that you might do is say like, oh, maybe it should be this. It doesn't help our case, though, if we're trying to sell ourselves that maybe it's not, if we're our copium. So I look at this and I go, this has been a concern of mine and why I haven't touched Hood. And then I realized, oh, shoot, SoFi looks like Hood. And I don't like it. I know I show a wedge here. I didn't redraw it. But basically, you have a similar thing going on. Depending on how you want to draw it, I guess. But like this is definitely in my mind, Head and Shoulders. Could I be wrong? Yes, hopefully. Hopefully. But regardless, we're seeing resistance here that is all-time high. The only thing that I can say maybe is going on to the benefit is if this is a large cup, a mega cup, as we say. Does this look any better in log? I don't think it does. Not really. And I, again, it's possible that's what's happening here. I don't think so. From a pattern TA approach. And this is a big old drop on a weekly close. And I know this week ended weird. So maybe we have an instant recovery back on all of these stocks, Hood included. But that is my concern on both of these. And not only are they very similar, they're obviously the same industry. Generally, financial, banking, right? That's my concern. And again, I'm on the weekly. It doesn't get better on the daily. It's a little messier. That's all. Actually, it might even clean the chart up a little bit if you draw it like that. So yeah, that's a concern. I don't like it. A little misshapen, I suppose, but where we closed damn near on the 200 SMA. Maybe that's the saving grace. Maybe that's what keeps us sane. Maybe on the daily, this line is a bit different, and it's got a little more, again, copium in it than what we had. If indeed this is the case, guess what? We're on like a last chance here. What the hell is that? Last chance for romance on SoFi, potential Head and Shoulders. That's my take. No matter what, we just did a reverse golden cross on the daily. I don't like it. And guess what? We had earnings. So I don't know. I don't know. It's not good in my mind. I think it's in rough shape. I'd be wary. I would be probably covering at the money pretty harshly. The earnings versus price movement is odd. Nothing could have saved it today. The only company that was saved today was Tesla, which, by the way, I think is cup and handling, mega cup and handling. If you look on the weekly, it's not the cleanest cup, but cups don't have to be. The volume profile is off for sure, but the whale flow is pretty good with consolidation, and then we take back off. Throwback, that's what we're showing here, is the throwback, which is normal. If we look at our little handy dandy cup and saucer, cup and handle cheat sheet, entry, cup or bowl, this becomes the breakout, the lip becomes the breakout point, handle out, break through, throw back, where you consolidate again potentially, and off to the races to the target. I think that's what we're seeing here. And, today was a good day to make some progress back towards that. Not a ton, but the fact that it was green on a day like today seems like a good sign. I mean, it's wild that GME was my best performing of the day, by the way. And Lily, too, of course. I love you, Lily. SoFi earnings is a sell signal for the market. That's definitely doomer right there. Buy the ticket, take the ride. Look, is it a bad company? I don't think so. Is it going out of business? I don't think so. All right, this hat's making me sweat, but now I'm committed because my hair looks ridiculous. So here we are. We're just going to sweat it out, I guess. I think they're fine long term. I think just like Hood. Hood's under 100. I didn't even look at Hood today, by the way. I know I was just talking about it. But we closed 2 days below the 200 on the daily. That's scary. Yeah, it's screwed, dude. Screwed, dude, for sure. Look at the weekly. Yikes. Not good, Hood. The question is, how far do we go? I am going to make a wild projection and say that if this was 154 and this is 100, then this is 54, dude. Which, by the way, is not too far from the 100 SMA. Oh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. I think there's a very strong possibility we test 100. Sorry. Dude, SoFi, here's the thing on SoFi. I had it at 7, and I got so bored of it. I had it here, and I got out. I'm like, nope, I don't believe you guys. You guys suck. Oh, whoops. Should have kept those shares. That would have been that would have been a huge return. 4Xer. Dang it. Oh well, live and learn, huh? That's why dead people outperform us all. Man, here's the other one I was hoping for a better discount on was Costco. I missed it here. This was my fault. This was me listening to somebody else say, nope, we're not bottomed. And I'm like, I think we are. I'm pretty sure we are. And they're like, nope, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, maybe, but I think we are. But I have no one to blame but myself. The reason why I wanted to buy here was because I walked into the store and they were hawking gold. They had signs, buy our gold. Which, by the way, ironically, would have been an amazing purchase, even today, even after a 9% drop. When I walked in the store, it was making me laugh because it was 4,200 an ounce. You'd still be up pretty big if you sold today at like the low. So like, I mean, maybe I was wrong on that one. Maybe I was wrong. Which one are you talking about, Jenny? SoFi or something else? Okay, speaking of Jenny, let's talk Reddit, because I haven't actually looked at Reddit today. I kept my TradingView closed all day. I'm quite proud of myself. That was good. Yeah, so let's look at the daily. So the daily, I knew we were going to test the 200. I like, that was clear. We were guaranteed to test the 200. What I thought we would also test, unfortunately, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to I didn't know, and it could still go past it. We could close the gap. And the thing is, the top of the gap is going to be, once again, strong support. Guaranteed. You heard it here. Not financial advice, but guaranteed. And we've tested it 1, 2, 3. This will be the 4th time. That's it. We will test 178.09, I'm sure. And just in time for earnings, which is fine. And frankly, I think earnings are going to be good and will probably still fill the freaking gap. That's Reddit in a nutshell. When that happens, I will buy a lot more RDTL. This is where it's very interesting because we get the one thing I don't like about the Discord community is that it's hard to not get caught up in the day or the week or even the month and keep that long-term view. You know what I mean? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the community. There's not. But by the nature of always talking about stuff, people look at things, they're like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Dude, you didn't do anything wrong. Look, people bought here. You could have made money if you bought at the all-time high back here. We went up even more, right? But look at this. It's labeled specifically nonsense drop for a reason because it made no sense. To this day, it didn't make sense in hindsight. There's no story that makes this make sense. And then we got back to where we should be because, but in that time period, I personally had strong conviction on it. And we were, going to end up inevitably where we were because the business is performing and continues to perform. Look at all the earnings. Green. Guess what? It's going to be green. I would bet money. I am betting money because I own the stock that it'll be green. I am certain Not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. But really, like they have proven track records at this point, and the fact is, the product is improving. You see it. You see the evolution of the product. You hear the usage going up, the active users going up, the global expansion going up, the opportunity with AI and all that is going up. They're doubling down on the fact that they have unique data that nobody else has anywhere, which to me tells me that they see their competitive advantage over any other platform in the world that can provide data to others is that very simply, nobody can compete with what Reddit has. For long form conversations, human based, and people can complain about bots and all they want, but guess what? What do people downvote and get pissed off about? Bots. How do they know that they're pissed off and they're bots? Because they can recognize that they're bots. Nobody's getting fooled by bots. They're all getting downvoted and banned all the time. That's not really the concern. That's just noise. So trust in your hypothesis. I trust in mine. I feel great about it. And if they go on sale, I will buy more. That's it. That's what you got to do. I mean, look at ASTS and Trogdor. And look, not everybody picks a winner. I get that. But like, dude, this guy has been doubling down every time the stock drops, and now he's worth $36 million. Wow, that was on the green day. But like, legit, he started with 40K, I think, somewhere back here, and he's got now 32 million. Like, what? Anyway, that was my spiel. Hey, Lord Mar, good to see you. So I think that days like today, it's really easy to get twisted. Like NBIS is so far down. Holy shit! I should have bought back my CC. That's what I'm thinking about. Am I worried personally? No, because what was the material news that came out today? Was there any? No, they have results coming out. Literally no news. This is a market-based movement. Same with CoreWeave, which, by the way, I'm a little upset at myself for not selling 90Ps today. I thought about it, and I didn't open up any of my ports because I was like, whatever, it's just going to piss me off. But this is fine. This is, like, legitimately, when the whole market dumps, we have sales. What are you buying? Did you buy anything? Do you have a cash position at all? What are you saving your cash for? Well, I want to buy CoreWeave when it's at its all-time high. All right. Dumbass? All right, I'm not calling you a dumbass, but I've done that too. But this is objectively when you should be considering it. The only question is, do you really think we're going to continue to drop or not? And I don't know. I mean, when the whole market sells off, my gut says no. Could we? Yeah. ASPI, I didn't even realize. Maybe something I look at buying. This would be like a 1% position, by the way. I'm not a huge proponent of them, but I kind of like them. This is a Kodu favorite. Joby? Oh my goodness. Dude, Joby's at 10? Holy. Oh my goodness, this might be a buy. This is when you go shopping. We should all be shopping right now. Are you shopping or are you crying? Look, if you're going to cry, at least cry shop. And things will be better because you'll be happy in the future. Oh, wow. Galaxy dropped big time, too. I got all these CCs that I could buy to close. This is fantastic. Opportunity is what this is. Without this, what are you doing? Oh, my cup and handle is sad, though. This is a little sad. All you got to do, though, is this. Oh, look, my cup and handle is actually like that. That's cheating. I can't do that. You know that's cheating. I'm not going to do that. You get it, though. You needed a Reddit pep talk. Look, this is truly where it's important to decide if and where you have conviction. Here's a question. What if you didn't look at the stock market at all this week and this happened, but next week it's all back up here, greens, right? And this is an unfair question in that it's a combination of hindsight and knowledge that we don't have and might not happen. I get it. This is all speculative and a brain exercise more than anything. Thought exercise. But what would you think? Would you be like, oh my goodness, I wish I could go back in time and sell at the low? Probably not. Just going to throw that out there. Or are you going to look back at times like this and be like, holy shit, why did I not full port? Okay, and clearly this is not full port territory. I want to be clear. Like, that is not what I'm saying. If we got back down here, this would be full port territory for me. Just like Lily, just like when Lily dropped. Like, look, when Lily did this drop, who was with me? I know a few of you will. I don't know if anyone else was. I did buy the shit out of this. Literal 20% position. 20? 15%. I kind of wish in hindsight it was a 50% position. Why do I wish that? Because look what happened. But it was clear, and my conviction was simple there. Who diluted? Superman, who are you talking about? Joby? I like it, Jenny. That is okay. I don't know if we can do that here. Let's go to Reddit real quick and put that in though. Or CoreWeave. Or NBiz. Or RCAT. Dude, RCAT's my favorite though. It's gonna drop to 0. Oh, dude, look at this cup and handle. That is fitting perfectly, by the way. What happened to Reddit? Oh, there it is. Okay, we need the emojis here. The problem is I can't just search for them. I have to like find them. Okay, we got cry. Where's crying? Where's the cry? There it is. We want this one. Cry. And then where's the shopping? God, I'm never going to find shopping. Are you kidding? I can't search. Why can't you search? Come on. Oh, there's stickers? Oh my God. What? Did you people know this? Oh, this is life-changing. All right, we'll dig into that. We'll unpack that in the future. I am... yes! And icons, which... whatever. It's the same shit, isn't it? Okay, where's the shopping bags? How far do I have to go? Is it with the fruits and vegetables? Or the sports? I feel like it would be with sports. Shopping... Dude, Shop Till You Drop was a sport, wasn't it? I mean, it was a sitcom. Not a sitcom. It was a game show. Okay, it should be with the buildings. But it's not with the buildings either. I mean, I might have passed it already. And you're all like looking at me like I'm an idiot. Which would be probably accurate. It's got to be over here. Is this it? I can't hover over it. And that's got to be shopping bags right there. We got a shopping cart. Those have to be shopping bags. Yes. Oh, this is perfect. We're cry shopping. I had one other thing. And maybe this is the last topic for the night. But here's an interesting thought. What do you feel the worst about when you look at stocks? Your stocks, your personal stocks. Giving everybody, back when I used to facilitate events, Kaizen events, improvement events many years ago, I had learned, and I don't know if this is true, this was the advice given to me by the person who taught me, that when you ask a question that you want feedback for, you're supposed to let it hang for 30 seconds. Like, you have no idea how long 30 seconds is until you wait 30 seconds for somebody to answer, and nobody does. It's like brutal. Oh wow, HIMS went down 10%. That's brutal. Wow, we're filling that gap. We're gonna touch that bottom. Okay, what was I talking about? I'm getting off center here. Where'd Reddit go? Where we were cry shopping. There it is. Oh, what is the thing? What was the question? Are you high, DT? What is the thing that feels the worst when you have a stock? I think one of the worst things that happen, what are the things that you feel the worst about? I feel like one of the worst things that I feel worst about is being in a position like this, feeling like, oh, maybe I should sell a part of the position, but I don't really want to because I want the stock long term. Have you ever felt that way? I have. Well, here's an interesting thought experiment, and that is if you own shares, you are naturally, by definition, unless you're a moron, which I don't think anyone is here, you're bullish on the stock. Otherwise, you would never have bought the stock, right? You assume that, or maybe you're maybe not a moron, but a masochist. Let's go with that. If you're bullish on the stock and you own shares, what could be a good thing to do here if you don't want to sell your shares? And I've done this before with Reddit, for that matter. I did it back here, actually. What I think I might try to do. Oh, let me read these answers first. The worst is when you grind to the recovery over a long period and it just. Yes. Okay. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Good. The opposite, looking at one, doing your DD, having conviction, and not acting. Oh, well, that's terrible too. Like, yeah, like the Costco one for me. That's totally fair. But what if you owned Costco here? Let's not do Costco. Let's just use Reddit because I had it open. Although Costco, you could do that for too. If you have a stock that has a wild run up like this, what if you bought puts? And I don't mean put leaps. You could do put leaps, but like put monthlies. Buy, not sell, buy. And the thought process is if the stock goes up, cool, you're making more money. It does intend on either selling more puts here or selling some shares at some point, at some target. But if you buy puts at like this would have been an okay place to do it because we were bumping up against the all-time highs. That's kind of where this goes, is if you're at all-time highs and you're nervous, puts are insurance. They're a hedge. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's a weird position to take because you're kind of betting against, it feels like you're betting against yourself, you're betting against your stock, or you can look at it as simply a hedge. Because what hurt the most out of everything this week was watching your stocks that you like, that you have conviction in, drop. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not saying like buy puts on all your stocks or anything like that. But you know what I'm talking about when you've probably looked at a stock and been like, wow, this feels good. We're at all-time highs. This is amazing. What is the one thing that can ruin this? And I'm assuming that you've got multiple hundreds of shares of any particular equity in looking at that. Well, what if you bought some puts and used it as a real hedge? I personally plan to consider this, assuming we get back up on some of these different equities. And I plan to do that, actually, for a few positions. I do. I'm not sure it'll work out as well as it makes sense in my head. It has worked out for me in the past. It's certainly selective in that, like, if you look at Reddit here as an example, the only place I would have even considered doing it was a matching the all-time high here. And it would have been probably break even, frankly, on a monthly. Like, it would have dropped, and I wouldn't have known at the time that it was doing a cup and handle again, right? So like maybe I would have gotten out for break even around here. And I'm not sure I would have known to sell him here, but maybe that's a consideration. So again, you can't necessarily call the top, and that would have just been lost money, but that's what a hedge is. But I think I will try that this year, specifically because we're in the midterm time of the administration. There's a lot of tension, and I expect there to be continued tension probably for the next year at least. And if we find ourselves in a position where we're back up here or near this 300 target, I plan to buy puts on Reddit while owning the stock as a hedge. That's it. All right, let me catch up. Would you do that on super volatile stocks? So it would be expensive, Superman, on Reddit, but I wouldn't do it around earnings. I don't even cover during earnings. So, in complete fairness to what I'm talking about, this would be between earnings scenarios. So it would be the lowest IV that I would be able to do. And I wouldn't do it on every stock. I would do it on core holdings. So large positions, which realistically is only, I don't know, 2 or 3, maybe 4 that I would consider. And even if it's expensive, that doesn't if you have a drop like this, if I had bought a month worth of puts here or a month out puts, which again I wouldn't have in this case. Let's pretend that earnings wasn't right here. This would have paid an absurd amount, and I wouldn't have done the same number of contracts for number of shares. I wouldn't have done 1 for 1. It would probably be like 1 for 4. But it would have taken some of the pain out for sure. I think you would agree. Had I done it. So anyway, that's just kind of an interesting thought experiment. I'm not suggesting you need to or should do this. I'm just sharing something that I've been thinking about recently, that all options are tools, and originally they were designed to help hedge. And one of the positions that we don't consider often is how our holdings, by definition, are bullish. And if everything that you have is bullish, if you have CSPs and leaps and shares, everything is intending for stocks to go up. So what happens if stocks go down? And if you're not doing anything, like VIX isn't really, for an individual stock, VIX is not a sufficient hedge. That's if you're a well-diversified portfolio. Yeah, VIX can be a good hedge. Gold can be a good hedge. Not today, but generally that's how you would look at those things. So considering that we're often talking about individual equities that could be a large percentage of your portfolio. Look at VIX. VIX isn't even wild today. That's kind of crazy. We spiked, but we didn't even hit 20. And 20 is kind of like that tipping point that you would think about. So I think I'll leave you with that. That was the thought. That was kind of an interesting, idea that came out. Am I doing okay? I'm doing great, dude. I will, of course, Jenny, I will share that, most definitely. I'm not saying this to try to convince anyone to follow me, by the way. In fact, I would recommend watching and seeing what happens, and don't do it the first time. Like, seriously, I'll do it. I'll let you know when I'm doing it, and paper trade it. Pick a position that you may feel similarly about, and if you have the same position and you don't want to go through with it, that's cool. And just see what the difference would have been had you done it. Then you can use a little bit of hindsight to say, okay, objectively, would that have been a good decision or not? And even if the stock went up, a Reddit put might cost me $500. But on 1,200 shares, if it went up enough, it would only have to go up $1 to offset that completely, right? So you could see the benefit to a potential hedge. And again, it would say I would do 3 or 4 puts in that case, so $2,000. Then the price only has to go up $1.50, which on Reddit is not much, for it to pay for an at the money put. And $5 is realistic for an at the money put. Maybe a little bit more expensive for a monthly right now. Well, not now because the prices already dropped so much. But you get what I'm saying, right? And yeah, see if it's something that resonates with you. I will say this: I've done it in the past. While I transitioned to basically full wheeling, I stopped buying any puts, with the exception of that one time I bought Lulu puts that screwed me somehow, even though it went down. But they were out of the money. Uh, I think something that is important to continue to try to educate people on is the real purpose of options to begin with. I will always lean towards sell side, but there are times where buy side can make sense again as a hedge. That's it for the soapbox today. I think that was a fun conversation. Hopefully, I didn't offend anyone, and I'm not trying to say that selling options is in any way bad. I'm just trying to give more perspective on how you could potentially use them. So that's going to be it. I guess in fairness, I should mention things like there are other things that can limit up and downside risk, like collars and spreads and whatnot. So you can look into that too. But this is just a real simple single lever that you can look at, consider pulling. And it's 9:45, so we've gone exactly an hour and a half. I had a good time. Thanks everyone for joining me. I got to wake up early tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to shut down, and I hope you all have a good weekend. I'll be around on the Discord if anyone's looking around. I got a new video coming out on Sunday. I'm actually excited about it. I'll talk about this real quick. I edited my own video, and I'm proud of myself because I actually learned how to edit some of this stuff, which is pretty cool. And I think we're doing I'm doing a series on TA from zero to hero, level 0 to level 100. I think it's going to be legitimately 50 episodes long, but I'm learning by teaching, and it's amazing how that forces you to really learn stuff better than you thought you knew it. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy it, starting with the basics, but it ramps up like anything. It ramps up quickly. So check that out on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And otherwise, stay warm, especially for all of you caught in the polar vortex. I hope you can get through it okay. No stories. YTP, 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 YTP. Maybe next time. I told extra stories last time, like 4 more than I should have. And I got some good ones queued up. But you'll have to tune in next time for that one. I promise. I got some good ones. Yeah. All right. Love you guys. I'll catch you in the next one.